Greetings. I hope that I'm live. I'm going to just do a quick check here. It's 11:01 and I am your presenter for the 11 a.m. time slot here in the Feminine Frequency Festival. My name is Sasha Rose and I'm super delighted to be here at Solstice. Oh yeah, I'm in. Okay, hi. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share what I'm passionate about, which is the title of this presentation, that your astrology chart is a map for you to discover your own inner heroine. So I'm an astrologer, I'm a writer, I'm a teacher, and I feel like part of this work of the organization and the programs that I started under Venus Wisdom are really allowing the energy of the feminine, the energy of Venus, to awaken us to our own innate power and wisdom. We are a living oracle. Our body is a living oracle. And we have this incredible ally in the sky, Venus. And so I want to highlight some things that you may not know about Venus and the Venus cycle. And the reason I'm zooming in is because I want to share some slides with you. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and get sharing here. If you have a candle, and no matter if you're coming in for the replay or you're watching this live, but today is the day of the longest night. And in that place of the longest night, we have this relationship with light. And so around the world, all of the sacred holidays are in bringing in the light in the dark times. And so this is symbolic, of course, of our own inner light that we can always call upon, as well as the light of the sun. This is the journey where the sun in the northern hemisphere is considered in the underworld, considered, in that vulnerable place of transformation where something has died and we're not yet sure that something will be reborn. That is the energy of the longest night. And so that takes a certain faith in the process, in the mysteries of life, death, and rebirth. And so we're right at that moment in the sun's journey. And I want to also bring in how Venus plays into this. So if you have a candle, I encourage you to light it. And anytime today, throughout the day, to be lighting candles and remembering, the inspiration of the fire and the inspiration of your own fire within you, in your heart, that can guide you through your own darkest times. When we master this ability to die and be reborn again and again and again, we really become more powerful beings. And this is the moment we're living in as we move from one age, the age of Pisces, into the age of Aquarius. We're in this process of moving deeper and deeper into a whole new era. And so a lot of the old structures are dying and we don't yet see the new that has been reborn. And so it requires that faith and that experience of light, of inspiration, of knowing that source is within us and that we are creators. And so much of the age of Aquarius is releasing the organized religions, releasing all the structures that came into play to say they're going to mediate between us and what we might call God or the mystery. That really the awakening of human potential to our infinite creative nature is the age of Aquarius. And I would say that Venus is key, because Venus is our relatedness. Venus is the deep care, the bonds of affection, how we treat each other, how we give and receive love, how we come together in communion. And so in the darkest times, humans all over the world come together around the fire, right? They come and they gather and they share their stories. And so part of this process of discovering our inner heroine is to really have the courage to share our story with our whole hearts, as I think, our beautiful thought leader Brene Brown talks about courage and the power of vulnerability. And so this is what we're doing in this process of inhabiting our deeper, truer self that's always been there, but we're activating that every time we give attention, just like we're activating when we give attention to the light, we're activating that within us. When we give attention through breath, when we give any kind of attention, we're activating something. So when we activate and strengthen this part of ourself within that has the capacity, the heart has the capacity to hold it all. The heart is the infinite intelligence. The heart is the portal into the galaxies within our own bodies. And so when we have this practice of connecting with our own heart, and then connecting with the luminaries, connecting with these cosmic guides, and especially Venus, she's so available for this, we really have an opportunity to deepen into that part of us that can meet the moment, exactly what's arising as the old falls away and as the new is not yet born. And we have a vision, and fire and vision is very connected, and story. We have a vision of what we're here to do. And I would say if it seems impossible, we're probably on the right track. That is the heroine's journey. She goes on an impossible journey she goes on an impossible quest to discover her capacity. And so the heroine's journey is an internal journey, whereas the hero's journey is an external journey. We could look to Mars to that, but we're going to focus on the awakening of the feminine as key to the recreation of culture itself in this age of Aquarius. And so when we put Venus first, not just Venus in her sign, but Venus in her relationship to source, to sun, we have an empowerment every day that we choose to go outside and receive that light or remember that light within. So I'm going to share some slides with you and walk you through this heroine's journey and share a little bit of the magic that I've discovered about Venus in my 10 years now of syncing with Venus, and now teaching many other women how to do the same, how to do so, to wake up their inner heroine and to really be able to rock your sacred purpose, because we're here to do big things. And sometimes we need that inspiration. Okay, so here's my first slide. This is the process of discovering our Venus avatar. There's gold here. Venus is in her cycle connected to the sun. The metal of the sun is gold, and then the metal of Venus is copper. So we've got some copper and some gold, and we have the Venus star, and this cycle in the middle is actually the pattern that I'm going to show you a video at the end that is created by the dance of sun, Venus, and Earth. It makes that 5-pointed star, that 5-petaled rose, and many, many women have been inspired by, these ancient mysteries of Venus, because the ancients knew about the Venus cycle, and they knew about the feminine mysteries and how the empowerment, when we wake up to what's happening in the sky, can help us with that internal initiation into our power. So today is the solstice, blessed solstice. And I just wanted to show a chart, because I want to illuminate, there is this incredible tool that we have through astrology. We can see that at 1:48 p.m. in just a couple plus hours here, the sun will go into Capricorn, and that is the solstice, when the sun moves into the sign of Capricorn. And this is a very sacred gateway of the sun, if we're looking at the equinoxes and the solstices as being the main gateways. So that it's like today, the energies are just more available to connect with source and to connect with this larger cycle. And Venus is here with her circle and then a cross underneath. She is the sacred reflector. She is the sacred mirror of relationship, of meeting sacred other and learning more of ourselves, learning to attune not only to ourselves, which is essential, she teaches us both, but then also to attune to others, to be of service. And so she has already been in Capricorn for a bit here. She's at 14 degrees of Capricorn. And she right now is, she's in front of the sun in the zodiacal journey. And, because the sun's just going to 0 degrees Capricorn, she's already at 14. And in the sky story, she's behind the sun. So a lot of the dance of Venus and sun and understanding both the map and the magic, we get to weave between, these different concepts, and then we get to drop into the magic of our direct experience of it. So I wanted to just show the 2D chart. If we forward this to sunset, you will notice that this is now the sun on the line here. That is the western horizon here where I live in Sebastopol. So if you know anything about astrology, you will know that this line in your chart is the east and this line in your chart is the west. So they're going down, they're going this way. So what does this mean? It means that after the sunset, Venus is still up in the sky and Mercury is pretty close to her, which means that you're going to have a bit of time for the sun to get dark, and then she will appear, and she will appear above, and Mercury will be a little bit less bright than her. So if you want to go and have an experience of Venus tonight, that would be incredibly powerful on the solstice in her relationship with the sun. She's teaching us, she's teaching us about this life, death, and rebirth through that connection. There we go. I lost my share there. So each one of the planets has an energy and a frequency. And when we focus on Venus, we focus on the feminine frequency. And when we focus on Venus's star point, we awaken to our feminine frequency of pure love. This is our inner heroine who has so much capacity in her journey to bring whatever love you have to bring to the world. So Venus goes through the signs and she has this heroine's journey through the zodiac. And, you may be aware of what your Venus is. Is she in Aries or Taurus or Gemini? That's going to give you a certain energy in your Venus design at the personality level. How do you give and receive affection? What do you like? So that's important to know. If you want to get your free Venus wisdom interpretation of Venus through the signs, just comment Venus in the comments and I will get that to you, or go to venuswisdom.com and you can get your chart and you can get a chart sent out to you. But it's not yet set up to send this piece that I just created, because I just taught a course, Venus, Discovering Your Venus Avatar. And so if you want the 12 signs, just comment Venus. This is what Venus does at the beginning of her cycle. This is a Venus star point. So in her 19-month dance, she starts out in between the earth and the sun, and she's infused. She's making love to the sun here. She's infused with that frequency of whatever that sign is. So right now in this cycle, we're more than halfway through the Venus and Capricorn cycle. So when she met with the sun closest to the earth, that was January 8th of last year, of actually this year, 2022. We're about to go into a next year. And so that infusion, we get to learn for 19 months about the mysteries of the feminine in the Capricorn mysteries, in the Capricorn school, we could say, mystery school. And so in this heroine's journey, she begins in a different sign every time, and she teaches us, and that awakens our own heroine. We're invited. She's like, come along. Do you want to come along? So maybe you felt the call last year, and you're like, I really need to get more serious about my sacred mission. I really want to trust the authority of my own heart above all external authority. I want to create some discipline and structure in my life to bring forth that deepest nectar of my heart to the world. I really need form to do that. I want to manifest, beautiful retreat centers, or whatever it is you want to manifest, books, or whatever it is you want to manifest. Capricorn's the power of manifestation. So you might have really got this feeling of like, I'm really meant to bring forth some material, tangible resources to the world for my sacred mission. So here's that pattern that she makes when she starts moving. So that's the beginning of the cycle there that I showed you. That was the Venus star point. It happens that way every time. And I'm going to show you how that flower is created, but I just thought we'd get a glimpse of that beautiful intricacy. This is the movement. So this is when we move out of the 2D chart and we look up and we go, okay, how are these planets moving together? And so how they're moving together, this is a map that you can also receive for free. And I highly recommend, if you're a woman of heart and you want to learn to sync with Venus, to get this map so that you can understand better her movement. So that moment that I just spoke of on January 8th, she met the sun in the sign of Capricorn. So that's 18 degrees of Capricorn started our cycle. That was the picture. And then she moved out into visibility, moved into the morning sky, went direct in her motion, reached her highest peak, and then started to be a little bit lower and lower and lower in the sky. And so in the heroine's journey, this is when she's meeting her trials and tribulations after having that big vision, that big burst. I'm doing it. I'm going on the journey. And so you may have felt that as you feel through these dates. And sometimes they're very potent, these portals when Venus and Moon meet every month. I call them the new Venus portals, really are another chapter in your story, another invitation to work with the energies. And they're meeting up in different signs as well. So we get to enter those characters into our story, knowing that it's all held in the mother energy of this Venus in Capricorn. That will take us all the way through August 13th of 2023. And you may have heard the news, I hope you did, that, Venus also has a secret meeting with the sun. So that's a second star point, but she's behind the sun at that point, and she's deep in the underworld. And so this is a deeper initiation. It's a time for us to really find the light within. We can't see her in the sky. And she met with the sun in the sign of Libra, a 29 Libra, and it opened up this Libra star point in the first time in over 130 years. So the feminine frequency of justice has been activated and will be coming in because those star points roll for 100 years. So now we're going to see her. That star point has been added in, and that is the frequency of the Queen of Justice, and especially the ways that the feminine has been degraded and nature herself has been degraded as the dominator culture falls away. And so where we are in this journey is we're right about here. Venus was behind the sun. For all of these dates, you can look at those and look at your life and what happened. It's such a good time to tuck in and retreat. And then she was visible for some around December 1st. Some haven't seen her yet. It depends where you are. And the next new Venus portal will be on Christmas Eve for those that celebrate Christmas, right near the solstice, in the midst of Hanukkah, all of these festivals of light. And you will get to see the crescent moon, the waxing crescent moon together with Venus in the sky. So you may want to go out that evening and look to the west, look to the southwest, and see what you see there, because it's quite magical and quite a potent transmission of light when you allow yourself to gaze and to receive, be in that receiving mode, be with your feet on the earth, be in the silence of nature. This is a practice. As many days as I can, I get up early if she's morning star, or I go out at sunset. These are liminal times. These are magical times, between the world times. So if you go out and greet her and just drop into that softness, drop into that not knowing, allow your jaw to be soft. I like to just say, let the mind go, let the heart open and be in the lead. When we choose not to know with our mind, we come down into the heart. It can be instantaneous. It can be very natural. Really, no practice is needed, just a decision. So she has phases just like the moon. And you were born with a Venus sign, and you were born into a Venus phase. You were born somewhere on that map. And so that signature, that design of Sun and Venus in a certain relationship lives within you, whether that was unseen in the underworld, or a bright morning star, or an evening star. It all depends when you were born. And this is what you can discover with your Venus avatar. Now, these points, these star points repeat, and there's always 5 star points that are active at any given time. So as I said, October 22nd, 2022, I know there's a lot of dates here, we opened up this Libra star point, and Scorpio is fading and Libra is coming in. And so we'll go from that star point. We started in Capricorn, and then we had that underworld star point in Scorpio. And then we have our new morning star point in Leo coming up August 13th, 2023. And you can go around the star and see where she's going to be, where she's going to meet with the sun. So these are all points that she meets with the sun, like that beautiful picture that I showed you at the beginning. So your inner heroine, when we think of inner heroines, you might feel like this, Trinity, such a great, I don't know if I can swear, but, badass. And so you might, when you're in your courageous, fire of your purpose and your mission, you might feel like her, or you might not. Yours might be different. And we each have a unique combination of our Venus sign, our Venus phase, what star point we were born under, very important in discovering our Venus avatar. Your avatar might feel more like one of these images, or these, or these. So there's the website there if you want to find out more. And we really get to build that through discovering the sign and discovering the phase and discovering the star point. We get to weave it together. It's this cosmic weaving of your feminine essence. And then you combine them and you synthesize them and you come up with a very personalized image that feels like you. No AI art needed. I mean, some people are doing that. I know it's fun, but we have this organic, inherent, powerful heroine image within us. And so I think this work is particularly wonderful for women who feel like you're on the edge. Maybe you're a little bit rebellious. You're a spiritual entrepreneur, and maybe you're seeing the ways that the spiritual materialism can creep in so easily. Chogyam Trungpa wrote about that back in the day, about how we can get so attached to our spiritual identities, and suddenly we have another identity instead of being liberated into the truth of who we are, our truest self, our most authentic self. That's where our power lies, especially in the age that we're moving into. And so I encourage you to discover, to go on the journey, to discover more about your Venus avatar, and to begin to be intimate with that archetype that lives within you, and discover your own imagery instead of giving it over to the machine to do it. Okay, I want to end with this video. I have a little more time. I'm just kind of looking to see if I covered everything. It's so beautiful to be human. And this really, with Uranus in Taurus, Uranus is the revolutionary, Taurus is Venus's sign of embodiment, saying the revolution is in, the revolution is in the organic human, in our naturalness. And there's so much of a push for digital control that, the organic and the natural is really becoming less and less available. And so we can choose that. We can really choose our time with nature, and we can choose to align ourselves with the principles of nature as a way to discover more of who we truly are. So if you're a little bit rebellious and you feel like you want to be on that edge and you want to be outside the box, you might want to try syncing with Venus and seeing how that brings alive that part of you that really enjoys being that evolutionary energy never seen before. A lot of the women's spirituality really brings us back to the lunar feminine and a lot of the ancient history, and that is wonderful. And yet what's going to happen is like the ancient future is something we've never experienced before. And so it's good to be available for that too. Okay, let me play you this. This is going to be Venus in relationship to the sun, and then Earth is going to come in and we're going to build that flower. Are you ready? Here we go. Hope you can see that well. So there's Earth. Taking a minute here and didn't quite fast forward it. Don't worry, it's going to get more exciting. There's Venus. Okay, so now it's plotting that's Venus behind the sun from Earth. And this is how she's moving. And then when she comes right in front of Earth there, we had a new Venus cycle start. And then so it's going to take her 9.5 months to get behind the sun. Oops, what happened there? I guess I just wanted to go back and show it again. Let's see, hopefully this will, yeah, there we go. So every time that's a new Venus cycle, you can see her retrograde loop. And now she's going behind the sun. So every 9.5 months, she's on one union with the sun, either in front, which she's about to be right there, or she's going to go behind. See that? There's her retrograde loop. There you go, new cycle. And 9.5 months later, there she is. She kind of went off the chart, but you can see the unions happening there when she's closest to the sun. There we go, new cycle, retrograde loop. And behind the sun union. And there we have it, new cycle. So this is 8 cycles to make the 5-petaled rose. So that's what they're doing here, going 8 times. And it takes her 8 years to go back to the one of those star points. So we had a Venus and Capricorn cycle 8 years ago. If you want to hearken back to 8 years ago, especially what was happening in your business, your sacred mission, there's a big reverberation. All right, I think I am about out of time. But again, if you would like to have that Venus sign, Venus through the signs gift, go ahead and comment Venus in the comments. And you can go to venuswisdom.com and pull your chart if you do not know where your Venus is, and that will give you that information. And I'll also send along the map because I'm not sure. I think that that's linked, but I had a little work to do on my website, and I'm not sure that that got linked before this happened. So if you want to connect, just connect with me. I'll definitely get you hooked up so you can activate and know this part of you that is so powerful, and this purest frequency of love that we can choose to drop into anytime. It's our own source. It's our own inspiration. It can keep us going and give us that courage in those longest nights. So I hope you light some candles today. I hope you share some love with those that you love. And it's been really beautiful to have this time with you. And just going to see if I can see into the group, see if there's anyone there. All right. Okay, Shara and Ikra, hope I'm saying that right. All right, solstice blessings to you. I'm going to sign out to give the next incredible woman time to give her presentation, and lots of love to each of you. Blessed solstice. If you go out and you see Venus, I hope that you'll share. And we do have a group for those syncing with Venus. So just find me. You can get connected to that if you're inspired by this presentation and want more. Blessings.